Man, what's going on? What's going on? Manny Pacquiao. Who does that boy, who's that man fighting next? That's the question. And there's been a lot of different rumors, man. Him facing Gennady Golovkin. BS. I'm going to have to call BS on that one. I don't think that one's going to happen. I don't think there's even a chance of that happening. Manny Pacquiao jumping all the way up to 160 pounds makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, there's limits to anything. And this is a guy he's beating 147 pounders. He's not dominating them. He's not running through them. When he fought against Keith Thurman, it was like, a very close decision when it came to that. He beat Adrian Broner, but it's not like he ran through Adrian Broner, cut the ring off, and destroyed him. Adrian Broner was still good. He was still fresh at the end of that particular fight. So, it's not like he had his struggles and issues with a Jeff Horn. So now he's going to jump to 160 pounds. I understand that people think that, Gennady Golovkin lost his last fight, but that was against a 160-pounder. 160-pounder. This little-ass southpaw coming up over there to 160 pounds, he's just going to walk you down. He'll walk that man down. He doesn't have to be 100%. He doesn't need to be 80%, 60% of what Gennady Golovkin used to be. He could be 50%. It doesn't matter. He'll just literally walk that man down and he'll stop him within a couple of rounds. There would be nothing that Manny Pacquiao could do to stop that. He would get walked down and stopped. Period. He got hit with a lot of shots versus Keith Thurman. He still came out victorious though. He did when he bit down, grinded it out, and won a close decision. Put that man down once, which according to Manny Pacquiao, that was what won the fight. So that's the kind of that's the kind of fight that he just had. Against a champion at 147 pounds, not against a 160 pounder. So that's just beyond asinine. You know what I mean? So that's out of there. Terrence Crawford, don't see that fight happening either. It makes no sense. Manny Pacquiao's the A side, that's number one, and you're with a group of powerful people who obviously know how to promote a whole lot better than Top Rank does. Especially recently in ESPN. So why would you leave that? And also, Bob Arum's gypped you before on multiple occasions when it comes to your money. And your money's right with the people that you're working with. You can sleep well at night knowing that, when I come and I fight on that next, on Saturday morning, that check's going to say what it's supposed to say. And those residuals that come after that, from the gate to the merch to the pay-per-view, I'm going to get that. I don't got to worry about that when I'm rolling with this side. So why would he put himself back into a mess up situation like that? It makes no sense. And where's Bob Arum going to get this money from? Bob Arum's just going to all of a sudden believe in Terrence Crawford and put down 20 to 30 million for Manny Pacquiao alone, then plus whatever Terrence Crawford got to get paid. He's just going to do that? Since when does Bob Arum act like that? This is a man that wouldn't give him Manny Pacquiao 20 million when Manny Pacquiao was signing and riding with them. He wouldn't give Manny Pacquiao the 20 million that he wanted to do the fight then, but now all of a sudden he's going to do that now? When he doesn't believe in Terrence Crawford like that? It's not happening, man. I don't believe that fight happens. And Manny Pacquiao's just going to give up his A side by going and fighting on a top rank event? You know what I'm saying? Where your opponent's promoter is running everything? Business-wise, everything-wise, it makes no sense. Not to mention, if you're going to take that level of risk, you could fight Earl Spence, who's doing 300,000 plus pay-per-views. So you know that he brings in what's good money. You're both on the same side. It's still a unification bout. And people that you work with know how to promote freaky fights. That's the biggest star. He's done 350,000 pay-per-views twice, back to back. You know what I mean? Sold out that Arlington Center, whatever, versus somebody that nobody knew. Did 40-some thousand with Mikey Garcia. And then after that, did his thing with Sean Porter. Why would he go? It makes this in every single aspect of everything. It makes absolutely no sense for Manny Pacquiao to go over there and do that particular fight. So because of that, I don't see that fight happening either. You know what I mean? I don't see that fight happening either. But hey, who knows? Maybe maybe he is that dumb, and I can, and I'll end up being proven wrong. I guess we'll see. But me personally, just the way the things are set up for him, I don't see it happening. And not only that, also because of Bob Arum and the way that Bob Arum does what he does, I don't see it happening. Bob Arum's not putting up that money. Bob Arum's talking about pay cuts and how he needs to pay fighters less and all that other stuff. But somehow, all of a sudden, he's going to say, oh, let me just F all that stuff I've been talking. Let's give Manny Pacquiao the $25 million that he's been asking for. Who cares if I'm cheap as hell? Who cares if I've said, let's do cuts? Let's just give the man the money. I'm thinking about the fans and what they want to see, because that's what I care about. Yeah, right. But Mikey Garcia pretty much makes sense. When you're talking about Mikey Garcia, he fought Errol Spence, obviously, took a loss on that, and Manny wanted to fight him. After he took that loss, he just had his fight against Vargas. He came out victorious with that. It was at the welterweight, division. He got like $7 million to zone that dumbasses. So he's cool. He was very happy with that, with the 10 people that showed up to that fight. But it's all good. Even though supposedly he's the reason that, the Cowboy Stadium was 47,000 people strong. But he only did like 10 people at the same arena that, Errol Spence sold out with someone that no one knew. It's mandatory. But anyways, it's still a good fight. He came out, he has his W, and if Manny Pacquiao fights him, no one's going to care about what happened at the Errol Spence fight. People are going to think this is a real fight. People are going to think that Mikey Garcia has a chance in this. People are going to say, hey, this is Mikey Garcia's third fight at the welterweight division. He's been here for a while now. He's going to be more, pretty much on point with it. They're going to start showing all these pictures of him looking, in shape, physically looking dense, like he's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like, damn, he's in shape like that? Wow. You know what I mean? And because of that, they're going to think he has a chance. They can say, hey, Manny Pacquiao, he's older. Because he's older, who knows? He could lose. Look at the shots that, Keith Thurman was catching him with. You know what I'm saying? There was one round where Keith Thurman also actually hurt him and pushed him back a little bit. So Mikey Garcia, him not being, him being in better shape, him being more active, he's going to be able to use his skills to wear Manny Pacquiao down and eventually maybe even stop him late or beat him late. End up beating him on the cards. That's what people are going to think. So because of that, it ends up being a good fight for Manny Pacquiao. It's a fight where Manny Pacquiao pretty much would probably make the same exact amount of money as he would, like, let's say if he did fight a Terrence Crawford, he would make the same amount of money. The one, like, realistic would actually be given, he'd make pretty much the same amount of money. So if he's going to make the same amount of money, he might as well do that and take a less risk. And that Mikey, the Mikey fan base, they're going to come up. Manny Pacquiao's fan base, they're going to come up. And they're going to do an okay pay-per-view. They're going to do an okay gate. They're going to do real good when it comes to those, the merch and everything like that. They're going to do good. The television rights, everything, they're going to end up doing very well in that fight. And I think Errol Spence ends up fighting Danny Garcia. And then after that, once Manny Pacquiao's victorious, because I think Manny Pacquiao will win that fight. And I don't think it's going to be close as people think it's going to be. And I think he and Errol Spence will end up then fighting each other. I wouldn't be surprised if Manny Pacquiao puts Mikey down 1 or 2 times in that particular fight. Because, to me personally, I thought Mikey Garcia was looking a little shaky in this last fight. He was looking a little bit shaky. And I think he was in there with somebody that was a little more talent. On that particular night, I think that he might have got stopped. That's just my personal opinion, though. So I think Manny Pacquiao wins that fight. I think Manny Pacquiao, he got a couple fights left in him. And I don't see Mikey beating him. I see Mikey losing this fight. And we'll see what happens with Errol Spence, because he talks all this, he's great, he's in shape, all this stuff after that accident, but we're not going to know where mentally he is and where physically is until that particular fight. And Danny's no joke. He catches you, you're going to sleep. You're going to wake up and your belts are going to be gone. So we'll see what happens with that particular fight, but if they're both victorious, I see those two later on clashing on Fox, huge pay-per-view, pretty much the fight of the year, only probably being outdone by Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. But we'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.